This is Gordon. We got Kevin's truck back here again today, and it's going to be a busy day all day. We're going to do several things, split it up into several videos, so if you don't see some of it on this video, just look for the other ones. They'll be up there. We're going to change the front brake shoes because we have some cracks on the bottom. The shoes got plenty of meat on them, but the cracks, well, it's a DOT violation, so we'll have to change those. And here is something else we are going to do today, is replace this air dryer. We're going to replace this, but before we replace it, we're going to go through the procedure of replacing the filter on that. And then he's going to just replace this whole thing because it's got a leak right here. You see this oil stain? It's got a pinhole leak rusted through this outer can on it. He's got a lot of oil on those hoses down below there where the air spits out. Oil stain on the bumper shield underneath there. That tells me that the compressor, air compressor, is worn out, and so we're going to discuss doing something with that possibly. But for today, definitely replacing this and going through the procedure of changing the filter inside and the front brakes for sure. And one more thing, he's got an issue with his battery cables and bad battery somewhere in here in the battery box. We'll be getting into that too. To get started on these batteries, first thing I'm going to do is disconnect all of either the positive or the negative. This is the negative side here. I'm going to take all of those off, and I'll leave the other ones on for the moment, and I'm going to let them sit for a little while I am working on the brakes. And then we'll do this later on. What I'm going to do is what's happening is one of these batteries, or maybe more, are weak. We know this battery is hot and strong, but we're going to separate all these batteries and just let them relax, because these weak batteries are feeding off of this stronger one. So once they're separated, it'll be easier to load test them and find out which one is the weakest. But while these are sponging off of this one and they're still holding a charge, the readings won't be quite as accurate. So we're going to put a charger on this and let these charge up, all of them together, for a while, since the truck was sitting overnight. And then we'll separate these all four of them and test them individually after a couple of hours. We got the charger hooked up, and I got it set on the 200 amp boost start, since we got four batteries there. The needle is getting up there a little bit. It looks like it's pulling 20 amps at this point. It might actually start pulling more after the batteries warm up a little bit. We'll see. So that, yeah, that's pulling quite a bit, but it is four batteries, so it needs, you know, more charge than what a one battery would get singly. But I'm not going to charge all four of them one at a time. We know we have one good battery. The other three we have doubts about. So, because we looked at it the other night, we had a no start situation, and we got him going with a temporary patch up so we could work a couple of more days. And now it's Saturday. We're going to fix all this today. Back on these batteries again. I had all the batteries separated and charged up and load tested, and all four of them passed the load test. The other day when we tested it, three of them didn't, because we had a broken bridge cable between the three batteries in the back and the first battery up here. One of these bridge cables. I don't know if we got this on the video or not, where my finger is. I hope so. We replaced it, and still had trouble starting it because 3 of the batteries were almost dead. But we got it started and it charged up all 4 batteries. This battery was the only one getting charged because that bridge cable was broke, and so these other 3 batteries were separated. And what was actually happening, the way they got it wired up in front, is these 3 batteries in the back go straight to the starter, and this first battery up here, the hot, goes to another block that goes to the solenoid that operates the starter. So that's the one that was getting the charge, and the 3 in the back were not getting charged, but they were starting the truck motor until they went dead. Well, we got something else going on right now. I saw all this moisture on the battery. I stuck my fingertip in it and I tasted it, and it had a real strong acidy taste to it. So I mixed up some baking soda and water. About half a handful of baking soda, or what would be a couple of tablespoons, heaping tablespoons full in a drinking glass of water. We're going to pour that on here and watch it foam up. And that's going to neutralize the acid that has been getting out of these batteries and sitting on top, which is also draining them out, because the acid's a conductor. I got to get some more baking soda mix. Yeah, we're going to just let that foam sit there for a while and then rinse it off and then pour a little bit more on there. That'll neutralize the acid. And once the cables and everything are cleaned up and the batteries, all 4 of them, are charging equally together, we shouldn't have that problem with the acid on top. I hope not anyway. If we do, that means the batteries are pretty well wore out. But they are showing good on the load test right now. Got that rinsed off a bit. Going to put another batch of baking soda and see if it still foams up. Yeah, we're still getting a little bit on this one. Yeah, we're not done. We got to do this a couple more times till it's done.